As you stand in your now and you look out into world events, or even those events that are up close to you, and you see unwanted things, there is this tendency in your physical human form to let whatever it is that you are seeing be more important than it ever needs to be, because everything is changing constantly in response to the vibration that you are emitting. It would be like setting your radio dial today with all of the sophisticated equipment that you have and then complaining about what you're hearing, when there are so many other choices that you could tune into. But it's like sometimes you have it stuck on one station, which you really don't like very much, and then you just keep commenting to one another how unpleasant that one station is. And someone from broader view, or someone who's not stuck in the complaint, might say, there are other options, but you might say, oh, yeah, because the other options feel hard. What's playing is sort of consuming you and feels like your whole world. And we really want you to leave here today realizing that anything that's happening in your experience, whether it's a physical condition, even one of diagnosed illness that is dramatic and scary, or financial trouble, even if it is looming very large and very big, or relationship unsteadiness or discomfort, even if it is strong, we want you to leave here realizing that those things are only happening to you because you're stuck on a station that you could change so easily if you just would look at it in that way. We want to assist you here today in feeling more your powerful, in this moment, opportunity to select what you give your attention to in order to adjust your own vibration. And when you select what you are giving your attention to in order to adjust your own vibration, then you affect either your allowance or your disallowance, either your allowance or your resistance, either your good feeling or your bad feeling, either your positive emotions or your negative emotions. You get how it's all the same thing. You are able to adjust your connection with your source, which is everything. Because when you are fully allowing your connection with your source, you are radiant, you are clear-minded, you are joyful, you feel good in the moment, you're usually smiling, your heart is swelling, you feel appreciation, you feel love, you feel fantastic, you're in love with life. It's like first day of vacation feeling all the time. In other words, it's that feeling of awakening and feeling free and knowing that all is well and feeling adventurous and eager about the way your life unfolds. That's what connection to your source feels like. And any diminishment of that is always because you have acted like a human and you have found something in your observable environment, and as you observe it, you don't like it. Sometimes you say, well, Abraham, we hear what you are saying, and it makes sense. I can accept that I'm vibrational, and I know I can feel the difference in my day-to-day experience when I find something pleasant to focus upon as compared to when I find something not pleasant to focus upon. But Abraham, I don't have control of my environment. I can't control what's happening with my parents, or I can't control what's happening with the economy or what's happening in my work environment. I can't control those things. And sometimes there are things that are happening that are very personal to me that just feel bad when I look at them, and yet I can't not look at them. I can't not think about my parents. I cannot not give attention to my children. I can't withdraw from the life that I have gathered around me. I can't just run away. And we don't want you to run away, but we do want you to begin to exercise your control of choosing what you give your attention to. Because we've noticed that when you give your full and undivided attention to those unpleasant things, you don't fix them either. In other words, you don't make those situations better by joining the misery. And as far as we can see, as we have seen you, and we have seen all of you, the only thing that you are using as your justification for mucking around in that unpleasant stuff is there are others mucking around in it, and you feel guilty when you don't too. Why should I be joyful when my mother is in pain? Or why should I be joyful when those around me are suffering? Or how can I be happy when I can't pay my bills? Or how can I be joyful right now, even though I'm not in pain, as I fear that a disease will overtake me? And we say, folks, you just got to start focusing, because you cannot control the conditions of your environment, and you cannot feel good when you look at conditions that do not please you. And the reason you don't feel good when you look at the conditions that don't please you is because you choose to look at something that your source does not join you in. Jerry and Esther were saying goodbye to Elsie, lovable cat. And Esther said, "Goodbye, Elsie. We're going to be gone a really long time." And Elsie looked at Esther and said, "I don't care." And Esther said, "But Elsie, you're going to miss my sweet face. I'm not going to be petting you every day. I'm not going to be looking out for you. And so I'm going to be gone a really long time." And Elsie said, "So long. Goodbye. I'll be fine. In fact, I won't even think about you while you're gone." And something within Esther, while she adores this little cat, really would feel better if Elsie would miss her a little. Because isn't suffering in the absence of someone you love proof of love? We're really wanting to help you to feel the absurdity of that. Even though it's rampant in your society, we're wanting you to want so much for your own personal joy that you can be as selfish as your cat. Your cat who may focus upon you in the moment or may not, but we promise you she will do whatever is best for her. And where humans got the idea that their own individual personal suffering was in any way good for anybody else defies all laws of all universes that we have ever encountered. Feeling good is good, and is your indication of your full connection to who you are. So we're wanting to help you to remember, to reorient you, almost to shock you into the awareness that every consciousness, which includes your full human form and even the cells in your body, every consciousness is and must continue to be selfishly oriented, because unless you are reaching for what is individually best for self, you cannot stay connected to Source. And the whole that is well-being based cannot continue to be. So finally you have to say, and really mean it, and then practice it, nothing is more important than that I feel good, because the way I feel is my indication of my connection to Source. Nothing is more important than that I feel good. And everything else is irrelevant. Now, we know that's a big step, and you're not going to make it all at once, but we want what's happening in your body right now to be irrelevant. We want what's happening in your mind to be the most important thing. We want the way you feel about your thoughts to be more important than what you think about what is. Because when you're looking around at what is, there's a whole lot that isn't as you want it to be, but as you objectively and fairly contemplate all that is, then you clutter up your vibration, jeopardize your connection to your Source, don't feel so good, and then blame whatever it was. The freedom will truly come to you when you learn to exercise the power of your own focus. And we have never met anyone who could exercise the power of their own focus who didn't first decide, I really, really, really want to feel good. Nothing is more important than that I feel good. Everything other than that is irrelevant. I'm going to focus upon that which feels good. And as you begin to let that be your dominant quest, it is our promise to you that everything in your environment then begins to take shape to that. Because your environment is coming in response to your thoughts. Do you hear that? Your environment comes in response to your thoughts. So often humans play it the other way around. Their thoughts come in response to their environment. That's why you're quite often wanting to control your environment. You say, let's get the bad stuff out and the good stuff in. Let's vote it out. Let's bomb it out. Let's boycott it out. Let's penalize it out. Let's find some ways of punishing enough that the bad stuff stays away. And we say, you can't punish enough that the bad stuff stays away. You're wanting to adjust your vibration so that you become a vibrational match to that which you personally have identified as that which is good. So, as you look out into your world and you see things that are wanted, we know how good that feels. And we can understand how you would want to promote those good things. And then when you look out into your world and you see things not wanted, we can understand how you would not want to promote those bad things. And what we are saying to you here is that the promotion, every bit of it, happens by your attention to it. There are those who say, if we do not give our attention to unwanted things, then the unwanted things will overtake us. And we say, when you give your attention to unwanted things, more unwanted things come. It is only by giving your attention to wanted things that you activate that vibration within you. If you could just for a little while, just for a day or two, even just as we are playing together here in this gathering and in a couple of days that follow it, if you could just try to look at life this way. What's out there is out there for whatever reason. It is what it is. But my life isn't about what's out there. My life is about how I feel now. So, right now, I'm going to do my best to find something that feels good right now, because life is right now. So if I look for something that feels good now, then I'm really utilizing life well right now. And if I see something that doesn't feel good right now, while it always helps me to exclaim what I prefer, holding my attention to what is not wanted right now will only perpetuate more of what is not wanted into my life experience. So the orientation that we are wanting you to play with just for a couple of days is, while all this flesh, blood, and bone surrounds me, while all this material stuff that looks like real life experience surrounds me, and while all of the statistics about all of it surrounds me, while there is all this fact or truth around me, all of it is just this byproduct of how a bunch of us have been focusing in our now. We would like you to sort of see the world and all of its manifestations as nothing more than what the radio is receiving. In other words, you turn that radio on, and it really isn't much of a thing at all unless something's coming out of it. And what's coming out of it is the result of transmission. And yet, when you approach your world, which is in this analogy like that radio, you look at it and you say, look at all of this fact, look at all of this truth. And we say, it's just transmission. It is only transmission that can be changed. Don't let it feel more important. Don't let it feel more static or more stable. Don't let it feel more factual. Don't let it be more truth. Don't let this reality loom so big that you lose sight of your creative ability. Let yourselves be transmitters that are projecting life rather than observers of what's already been projected and then feeling compelled to document it and feel good or bad about it. We're wanting you to live more in the now. We want you to use this now platform to jump off in. In other words, there's a lot of things that you may want to see and observe and benefit from. But when you become one who is mostly looking at what is and offering your vibration predominantly from that, then you become co-creators, co-conspirators in perpetuation of some of all of it. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would spend more time speculating. We would spend more time dreaming and imagining and envisioning. And we would let our observation be about looking for things that feel good when you find them, rather than about weighing the pros and the cons.